Welcome to Mega Man X6 Part 2. Now there is a reason why I said it would be a wise idea to start at either Rainy Turtloid or Infinity Maginion. The reason being, the weakness weapons that are used against both of these Mavericks are, well, complete and utter garbage. More Infinity Maginion than what Rainy Turtloid is. But whatever the case, there's another reason why I would rather prefer to go to Rainy Turtloid than to Infinity Maginion. And that's the fact that it would be easier to, well, get an old friend back. But whatever the case, it's time for us to start Rainy Turtloid. Now, Rainy Turtloid stage is, how should I put it, unique, and arguably regarded as one of the worst stages in the game. First off, I want to point out its nightmare effects. You see, if you for some reason beat Infinity Maginion and also defeat Shield Sheldon, there will be nightmare effects here. But at this point, if you beat Infinity Maginion, there would be darkness and only one searchlight in this area. Now what am I doing? I'm destroying this shield generators so that way I'll be able to break the shield off of the weather generator, which is causing the acid rain, which was put there by Rainy Turtloid himself. And this thing that's constantly trying to cut through my goddamn hitboxes is the Nightmare. You see, if you destroy them, they'll leave what is known as a Nightmare Soul, and those can be used towards equipping weapons. Like, if you gain a certain enough of them, you'll raise a rank and you'll be able to equip some parts to your character. Now then, you're gonna face 4 sets of shield generator modules in this stage, because for some reason it loves using that same old formula of having 4 shield generator mods and also destroying the shield generator itself. Get used to it, because it's also in the second to last stage of the game if you're playing as Mega Man. Now then, about the nightmares, let me go back to them. If you pick up the souls when they're completely big blue, you'll be getting 10 nightmare souls. However, if you let them shrink, you'll end up getting 1. If you completely let them dissipate, they'll turn back into a nightmare and you'll have to destroy them. These nightmares are what is the main problem of this game, but also the main reason you want to kill them. Because if you don't, they'll latch onto a Reploid and turn the Maverick, and you will lose whatever heart tank, weapon energy upgrade, or ability that they happen to have. Now we're in this area which you will need to use your dashing skills to... I talk about dashing skills and I fall straight into the goddamn water. Anyway, you're going to need to use your dashing skills to get through those platforms, the rockets. The thing about them is, if you are underneath the platform with the rocket, you will take damage. But what's worse, you can also be crushed by them too, which you will actually take minimal crush damage. But whatever the case, I died a couple of times because you see that bat over there, that baton bone? It will drop a missile and will knock you out of the air in mid-flight if you don't destroy it. Sorry for the stuttering there. But I'll make sure you pick up all the items, because the acid rain is slowly but surely deteriorating your health. And it can and will kill you. It did me several times in this stage. Now, another thing that's noteworthy, if you happen to run into, like, the enemies in the water, they will also cause you to fall down. There is no solid ground in the water, so bear that in mind. Now we're about to break the generator for the 3rd time, and now we're in the last area of this stage. However, this is a perfect time for me to talk about nightmare areas. Yes, that is the new thing of this game. nightmare areas are areas where you need to go above and beyond the Call of Duty to find them. However, they give you an alternate pathway. What this alternate pathway is supposed to do is... Oh, and by the way, there's a heart tank right there. You have to literally run into the generator in order to get it. So what these pathways do is give you an alternate version of a stage that you are on. Although the alternate version may be easier than the original, then again, the alternate version can be harder. And we just found the Nightmare Gate. I just had to use invincibility frames in order to do it. And just like X5 and X4 before it, if you go to a new area, you will get full health and full ammo. Now then, in order to get the shield generators here, you want to actually jump from pit to pit in order for you to get the shield generators. There are at least 2 Reploids here, so if you want to go out your way to find them, by all means do so that way you will not die, because the acid rain is slowly but surely corroding your HP. And not to mention, there is also health pickups that you can use to restore your health back to normal, even though it's going to be slowly draining. This is one of the things that no damage speedrunners have a problem with, because you're taking damage due to the stage. Now, I also want to bring up one other thing. The reason why I'm taking the Nightmare Gate. You see, normally if I would have went to complete the stage, I would have just went after the Maverick. But since I'm here in the Nightmare Gate, there's 1 of 3 enemies we can face. 2, depending on certain situations. And I just went there and destroyed the last generator. And after destroying that, I now go into the pod, and the rain is done, and we shall be going through the gate. We'll meet the first enemy right now. And he should be coming right about now. There he is. Where is Zero? Where is my Zero? You're fucking insane, dude. Is he going crazy? Who is he anyway? Destroy! Destroy! Oh, by the way, the dialogue of Nightmare Zero changes with every stage. Anyway, this is Nightmare Zero. He is weak to his own saber. Get used to that, because he's not the first person that's weak to himself in this game, and he certainly isn't the last. Now then, he plays exactly like Maverick Zero did in Mega Man X5. You can have him in a infinite lock. And I just died, I know. It's shameful that I did that, because Nightmare Zero is actually pretty easy. A hell of a lot easier than Maverick Zero in X5. And the only reason that you would get Maverick Zero in X5 is if you fail to stop the colony. And you can tell by the actual audio cues that the Z-Saber is actually hurting Zero. Damn it! Damn it all! Sorry about that, my phone went off. Anyway, he will fire a stream of projectiles if you keep hitting him with his weakness. And one last thing that needs to be said about Nightmare Zero. He has the same theme as X and Zero's battle in X5. So yeah, they got completely lazy on that regard. With that said, after we defeated Nightmare Zero, guess who appears? The real Zero! My reputation has been damaged while away. Or should I say I was away. Because Capcom doesn't know how to spell check. Being thought of as some stupid toy. Although I still have a bad stomachache. Zero! Zero, you're alive? No, X. I'm not alive, I'm dead! Huh, so X is alive, is he? As stupid as ever. Seems Sigma didn't defeat me after all. Okay, that line is bullshit. Not only did he defeat you, he turned you into a torso with a giant hole in the stomach and missing an arm. But I searched all over for your parts. Your signal. But I found nothing. So... And now for the big screw you to the Mega Man X fanbase. That is most unfortunate. And now for the reason as to why Zero is back. I hid myself while I tried to repair myself. I had to wait until I was healed. You didn't even heal yourself correctly! You're missing a kidney! Well, it's been an emotional reunion. But now, we must face the nightmare. If the Reploids are eradicated, then humans... Well, then the mankind... Okay, then the humans... No, the Earth itself will face a crisis. Let's go, X. Destroy the nightmare. That's what I've been doing before I found you. That's how I found you. Yes, we will join hands. And all the erotic fanfic has been put on Tumblr. Anyway, yes, Zero has been unlocked after we went through the Nightmare Zone finding Zero. But he is one of 3 bosses. So, with that said, I obtain 80 souls, but despite the deaths, my rank will not go up unless I get enough Nightmare souls. You found a mysterious item. It is related to the Nightmare. Let's call it the Nightmare Soul. I already did. Collect the souls to increase ranking. As your hunter ranking increases, you'll be able to equip parts. The higher your ranking, the more parts you can equip. When you achieve GA ranking, you'll be able to equip the limited parts. Unlike the other parts, the limited parts should be equipped at the weapon select screen. Don't forget that you can use it one time only. She's not kidding with that. And we've rescued just about all of the Reploids. Save for a couple. But we found ourselves a weapon energy upgrade. And we got Speedster and Saber up. That just makes things even better. Oh, we got Hyper Dash and Saber Plus. That's what that is. But whatever the case, we now have Nightmares. Oh, we now have the original Zero. So, yeah. After that, Zero becomes a full-time playable character. And by the way, if you go throughout the game and not go to the Nightmare Zone once, you only have one boss to fight. However, you'll be locked out of 2 bosses, not to mention go straight to the bad ending. You can also royally screw yourself over if you allow the Nightmare to grab a certain Reploid and you haven't found Zero. So yeah, that's stupid. Now let's go back to Rainy Turtloid stage. Oh, I almost forgot about the Nightmare effects. For Rainy Turtloid stage, if you happen to, beat, let's say, Shield Sheldon and Infinity Magician. For Shield Sheldon, you'll end up having to deal with soul body copies of X and Zero. And for Infinity Magician, you have to deal with darkness. That is all the more reason why I came here. Now then, I did die, and that was a mistake on my part. But what I was doing was trying to, get all of the, seal generators, so I could pass through and get to Rainy Turtloid. Now, one thing that can be said, once we do defeat Rainy Turtloid, there will be a Nightmare effect as well, but I'll get on that in just a moment. With Zero, you have the double jump available, and you don't have to actually beat an enemy for it. You have the dash cancel combo for Zero, and that is actually more powerful here than what it is in X4 and in X5. Because X5 kind of neuters the dash cancel as soon as you beat the Skyver. But here, not so much. That's the one thing I will give X6 over X5. Whatever the case, it's time to face Rainy Turtloid. And you will see why his weakness weapon will not do any damage. Cause look at this dude, he takes up 3/4 of the goddamn screen. Are you Rainy Turtloid? Zero, the famous Maverick Hunter. X and Zero are Reploids I respect. Funny because you don't show respect to X. Fine. So don't fight me. Help me. I've been resurrected to carry out an important duty. A very important duty given by my master. Though I brought shame on my master, he allowed me to live. That's why I have to finish my duty, even if it means sacrificing my life. I see. Well, here is the thing. Rainy Turtloid is actually reverting to Gates. It's kind of obvious that Gates is a bad guy. I mean, look at the earlier cutscenes. Whatever the case, Rainy Turtloid starts the battle with 2 gems on his back that fire missiles. And the only way you'll actually do some damage to him, even if you have his weakness weapon, is to destroy the gems. Once you destroy the gems, then you'll be able to do it. Oh god, I got hit! Damn it! As I was saying, if you destroy the gems, you'll be able to do as much damage as you can with Zero and X. It's going to be harder with X than Zero because his saber swings is so slow. But the weakness weapon for Rainy Turtloid is the Ice Blast. However, thanks to that fact that Rainy Turtloid needs to have his shell gems destroyed before you actually do damage to Rainy Turtloid, you're not going to be able to do much damage to him. Also, there is the matter of the Z-Buster doing more damage than the X-Buster. Not to mention, you have to actually be in front of Rainy Turtloid in order to hurt him with his weakness weapon. Not just his Zero, but his X2, because the Ice Blast for Zero has him on the damn ceiling. And plus, Rainy Turtloid bounces to and from with his shell. But nonetheless, we've beaten Rainy Turtloid and we've got Meteor Rain. Now, here's the deal with Meteor Rain. If you charge Meteor Rain, it will bombard the enemy with Meteor Raindrops. But a normal Meteor Rain just fires 2 shots and they bounce up and down and break invincibility frames. Speaking of which, Zero versions of the Meteor Rain, the Insuizin, is a spinning slash like what Rainy Turtloid was doing earlier. That also break invincibility frames as well. Well, his anyway. But whatever the case, we have defeated Rainy Turtloid, and now Alia has a bit of backstory. Rainy Turtloid, ex-investigator of the Water Purity Improvement Team. I stuttered there for a second. He had a tortoiseshell shield to counter the strong acid rain. Yeah, Alia knows about these things because she's Skate's comrade. Anyway, thanks to him, we can explore areas that have a pollution level A. But his high defense abilities was regarded as too dangerous. Really? Requests to weaken Turtloid ran high. Gate opposed this and was punished. Turtloid was so loyal to Gate, in the end, he died to save Gate. So in other words, he committed suicide. And after you beat your first Maverick, doesn't matter with Zero and X, this cutscene appears. I have a report. Another investigator has been beaten. Blast. That old robot is tenacious. You are quite right, sir. Especially that red Reploid. Zero has outstanding performance. I believe he will cause problems for us. He's already doing that now. If we don't take measures now, I'm no longer interested in Zero. Hymax will defeat Zero before long. You sure about that, buddy? You really sure? Okay. There is no doubt it'll be easy for Hymax. Yeah, I doubt that seriously. But we better make a move just in case. Isaac, I've been thinking about that. You're obsessed with Zero, aren't you? No, I'm not. Then leave that old robot and focus on the experiment. Yes, sir. I'm doing just that. No, you're not. You're focusing on Zero. It is going smoothly and effectively. We've achieved 99.98% success rate by now. Ha! 2% rate of failure. Go figure. So I assume the experiment is done. Then it's time for the next phase. Ha 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 ha! It's gonna be fun, Isaac. I'm sure, sir. Keep an eye on those two Maverick Hunters. You just told him to leave him alone! I shall obey your orders. Yeah. No. I'm gonna have to disagree with this story. We've just had not one but two bullshit parts there. But whatever the case, the fact is, we all know Gates the bad guy and so is Isaac. And Isaac is sort of like Dr. Wily. But whatever the case, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with this part. I'll see you guys in part 3 when we deal with Metal Shark Player, much to my dismay, even though we have his weapon now. See you guys the next time.